Hello and welcome to TTV News with some latest events in Tay Ninh province. And now we come into details. The second session of the 10th Tay Ninh Provincial People's Council term 2021-2026 was held in the afternoon of December 7th under the chairmanship of the Secretary of the Provincial Party Committee and Chairman of the Provincial People's Council Nguyễn Thành Tâm, Vice Chairwoman of the Provincial People's Council Nguyễn Đại Thi, and Vice Chairman of the Provincial People's Council Nguyễn Thành Phong.
As a result, the Provincial People Committee has presented several reports to the Provincial People Council for consideration and resolution, including a report on land acquisition in the Tay Ninh province in 2022 to undertake socio-economic development project for national or public purpose. The report on the adjustment and supplementation of industrial zones in the adjustment of land use plan to 2020, as well as Tay Ninh province final plans year 2016-2020 were authorized by the government in resolution number 53 on May 10, 2018. The proposal to promulgate Tay Ninh province urban development program for the period 2021-2025 with the vision of 2030 and proposal for the implementation of a home construction program in Tay Ninh province for the year 2021-2025 with a long-term goal of 2030. This suggestion, examined and adopted by the Provincial People Council, have the potential to have a beneficial influence on the province's socio-economic growth in the future. Another agenda that drew the attention and interest of many voters in the province were the report on the proclamation of a resolution controlling the regions in the province that are not permitted to breed and the places for reducing sweeplets.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the morning of December 7th, at the opening of the second session of the 10th People's Council of Tay Ninh Province, Mr. Dương Văn Thắng, Vice Chairman of the Provincial People's Committee, shared with delegates of the Provincial People's Council and voters that Tay Ninh has implemented the best possible work in the prevention and treatment of COVID-19 patients.
The fourth pandemic had a significant influence on people's economic, cultural, and social lives, as well as their material and spiritual lives, faced with exceedingly intricate events and the rapid spread of the disease. The whole political system has been combating the epidemic vehemently from the province to the district and commune levels. The COVID-19 Prevention and Control Command in District Town and Tay Ninh City always closely monitor the epidemic situation and entrust the Provincial People Committee, Provincial Command to seriously and radically direct in a timely and effective manner, mobilize the whole political system and social society to work together to avoid and contain the outbreak. The guiding activities are determined during the meeting, and the guiding material are tailored to each time. After a long period and significant efforts, there are still cases of infection in certain province places, but the epidemic situation is mostly under control, and people's lives are gradually returning to a new normal condition. According to Mr. Dương Văn Thắng, Vice Chairman of the Provincial People Committee, in order to quickly prospect the epidemic and focus on socio-economic development, local department and people must constantly be vigilant, absolutely not subjective, and not to be. Celebrate the implementation of key policies such as testing is key. Focusing on speeding up vaccination is the basis for self and control adaptation. Raise awareness and create support and consensus among the people.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Phạm Ngọc Hải, Director of Department of Education and Training, also submitted a report of Provincial People's Committee requesting the promulgation of a resolution regulating tuition fees for students with public educational institutions in the province during the working meeting of the second section of the 10th Tenure Provincial People's Council. This is a content that will certainly be of interest of many parents. Accordingly, for preschool educational institution and lower secondary school, the school fee is from 100,000 Vietnam dong per pupils per month to about 300,000 Vietnam dong per students per month, according to rural and the urban areas. And for the fees for public high school, including the secondary education that cannot afford regular expenses, from 200,000 Vietnam dong per students per month to about 200,000 Vietnam Dong per student per month according to the rural and regional cities. The student rates will be applied from academic years of 2022 to 2023. In addition, the Department of Education and Training also submitted to the meeting on the content of regulations of the collection of fees for services to serve and support educational activities of the School for Public Educational Institution in the Ninh province, and at the same time clearly stipulates the management of revenue and expenditure and exemption as well as reduction policies for priority subjects. The adoption of resolution setting the rate of school fees will serve as the foundation for assisting schools in making revenues transparent so that educational management agencies and the people, especially the parents, can monitor the revenues in the school.
According to the statistics from the social insurance agencies of Tay Ninh province, currently there are still quite a few employees working at businesses that have been treated for COVID-19 but haven't yet been paid the social insurance benefits due to lack of documents.
To protect the rights of employees affected with COVID-19 and to assess compliance with the law, the Ninh province social insurance suggested to the Department of Health that a facility obtain COVID-19 treatment in compliance with rules. Hospital treating COVID-19 must give the discharge papers. In the event that employees an EFO who is isolated at home, the health center of district, town, city, rural, commune, and township health station will care for and management of EFO at home, and the certificate of leave will be granted to enjoy social insurance in accordance with rules. If the mobile medical station and the community-based care team for people affected with COVID-19 provide FO care at home, the doctor assigned to directly care for FO will sign for the position of medical retainers (DC). The managing unit, which is the medical center of the district, town, or city, is responsible for signing and stamping on the certificate or authorizing in writing for the rural, commune, or township health station to sign and seal. The Ninh province social insurance also demands that dossier and documentation be sent to the social insurance of district, village, and city is the foundation for social insurance payment for employees having COVID-19 therapy. Failure to accept and receive paperwork demanding social insurance benefit in violation of regulation, while also instructing workers to contract medical examination and treatment institution for re-insurance of documents and certificates in accordance with the rules.
And ladies and gentlemen, the Ninh Provincial People's Committee issued official letter number 4387 on December the 6th, maintaining the balance of product supply and demand at the end of 2021 and the Lunar New Year Eve in 2022. As a result, the Department of Industry and Trade, Agriculture and Rural Development, Finance and Information and Communication departments, among others, will monitor and evaluate the supply, demand of goods and selling prices, particularly essential items, products that have been in high demand or have experienced high price fluctuation in the area in order to proactively plan for proposed to the Provincial People's Committee measures. In order to proactively plan or propose to the Provincial People's Committee measures to ensure the balancing, the Customs Department will continue to inspect and closely monitor the import and export situation to ensure the supply of essential goods in the country during the year-end period and the Lunar New Year in 2022. The Provincial Market Management Department shall assume primary responsibility for and coordinate with other departments and sectors in intensifying and strictly handling acts of trading in smuggled food, of trading in smuggled goods, counterfeit goods, poor quality goods, and unsafe food, as well as any violation of law in the trade of essential commodities. The People's Committee of District, Town, and Tay Ninh City closely monitor the production, supply, and prices of essential agricultural products and food in general and pork in particular, in order to promptly report and propose plans to ensure the supply and stabilize the market in order to serve the people at the end of the year and the 2022 Lunar New Year Eve.
Ladies and gentlemen, the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic has caused a significant impact on production development, including agricultural production. It's difficult to travel, agricultural products cannot be sold, many farming households get losses.
In the new normal, its farmer in Yumenchao district has selected a production technique that is tailored to the condition of the COVID-19 pandemic in a variety of ways. Mr. Phan Yang Minh, family's raw vegetable in Ninh Hiệp Hamlet, Bảo Nam Cameroon. He opted to produce vegetable for a long-term harvest after experiencing consumption stagnation as a result of the installation of social distance. He claimed that because leafy greens have a short shelf life, an average of 30 to 45 days, they are quickly harmed if not consumed on time. In contrast, other plants will be fruit after 60 days, with a yield lasting 4 to 5 months and being thought to lose.
During this tough period now that the distance is gone, it is feasible to trade and sell items at the high prices. And the present challenges is the rise in materials, which reduce the earning and the supporting. We do the same cultivation again in the near future, only this time will be different.
Similarly, Mr. Hai Yang Hong families in Ninh Phú Hamlet, Bảo Nam Cameroon opted to cultivate dragon beans following the pandemic. His 5,000 square meters of dragon beans are already given root, and the price is now more than 20,000 Vietnam dong per kilogram in the garden, making the grower lucrative. Mr. Hong estimates that if correctly cared for, this dragon bean root produce fruit for 3 to 4 months, so when the Lunar New Year is a burden in the root. The price of dragon beans frequently rise, so don't be conscious about losing money.
Because of the pandemic, I couldn't sell. I decided to grow dragon beans and grow for cassava. 2 years ago, cassava could not be sold. It was very cheap in prices, and the cotton goods and the other goods sold better than cassava, and dragon beans sold more.
In fact, the epidemic affected many fields, making the chain of farming, harvest, consumption of agricultural products difficult. In addition, the price of some agricultural inputs have increased, making many farmers hesitate to invest in the next crop. But for Mr. Nguyễn Văn Dài, who lives in Ninh Phú Hamlet specializing in growing custard apple, there is another way to adapt. He said that many areas of custard apple in the area are giving fruit. During the social distancing period, traders do not buy, and there are places to let the fruit fall and fill the garden. Through the peak of the epidemic, some gardeners are hesitant to invest, but he has another investment way.
After the distance until now, the locality has created favorable conditions for the farmers to produce and trade and high prices items. The commune's economy recovered. Production of vegetables and fruits, custard apple is now also recovering.
According to Mr. Trương Hữu Phúc, chairman of the Yumenchao District Farmer Association, as a place with a big area of custard apple, the area of vegetable crops has lately expanded significantly, along with the primary benefit of being a gathering place for agricultural products from other areas. The farmer market's wholesale market K13 was expanded directly on 781 Street, allowing the for rapid consumption of hundreds of tons of vegetable and fruit each day.
Farmers were very thrilled after the last pandemic since they were able to multiply again. But they are now constrained owing to increased fertilizer and gasoline prices. The district farmer unions have also a production development strategy for all the farmers in the district.
Despite the challenging scenario related by the COVID-19 outbreak, many agricultural households have implemented suitable methods, constantly linking to the field and garden to increase productivity and boost family income.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's all for today TTV News. Thanks for watching and see you next time.